This is Tank's vlog for August 28th, 2018, wrapping up today in sports. We are brought to you by my podcast, Allow Me to Be Frank. A new episode of Allow Me to Be Frank will be dropping on Tuesday morning. It's an NFL preview with Jerry Thornton from Barstool and a recent author of the book 5 Rings, which chronicles the New England Patriots dynasty. So check out Allow Me to Be Frank on SoundCloud and iTunes Tuesday morning. A new episode, NFL preview with Jerry Thornton. I think it came out really good. You're going to enjoy it. And without further ado, it's the wrap up for the day in sports. Hi, Noah Syndergaard. You know, he hasn't been awful. He hasn't been great. Noah Syndergaard's been a lot of I mean, not so much Thor. I mean, jeez. I mean, he's hardly been Thor. That persona has just been a nickname this year. He hasn't been blowing anybody away. It's like he doesn't have that killer instinct sometimes. It's like sometimes things get in the way. I don't know exactly how to explain it. I mean, the Mets stayed in the game. He kept him in the game. He wasn't terrible. He allowed 4 runs in 7 innings. He left the game with a no decision. But then the Mets bullpen, of course, did what the Mets bullpen usually does, and that's stink it up with Jerry Blevins getting the loss. And that's bad news for the Mets because the Mets are trying to shop Blevins. Hope someone will give the Mets something. Although usually what the Mets get is trash and cash. And the Mets are also trying to shop Joey Bats, Jose Bautista with the Phillies, who have claimed him. The Mets have a few more hours to work out a deal. I mean, I don't understand why not. I mean, the Mets get trash and cash anyway. I mean, what else are the Phillies going to do? I mean, I don't think Bautista's in the Mets' long-term plans at 38 years old. Just take whatever the Phillies can get. In this instance, trash and cash are okay. It's just when you trade Jerry's Familiar for trash and cash, it just is pathetic. Trash and cash, trash and cash. That's all the Mets ever get is trash and cash. When they give up on a player, they get nothing back in value. So the Mets lose the opener 7-4 to the Cubs. They haven't beaten the Cubs in a while. Cubs swept them earlier in the year at Citi Field on just one of the Mets' most utterly pathetic performances of the year. It's really set the stage for their June swoon. And of course, Daniel Murphy is now with the Cubs, and he continues to kill the Mets. What a wonderful decision it was to let him go. The Cubs have won every game since they've gotten him, and he's gotten a hit and a run in every game he's played with the Cubs. Meanwhile, Chicago's other team was in the Bronx, and they stuck it to the Yankees. Yankees played a sloppy game with 3 errors, only 3 hits. Fantastic pitching performance today by Carlos Rondon. So the Yankees lose a half game to the Red Sox, who were off on Monday. Meanwhile, the Orioles, they snapped their losing streak, beating up the Blue Jays 7-0. A big home run by Trey Mancini. As the Orioles are now 38-94. They're coming back. They're coming back. Washington Nationals on a sack bunt by Steven Strasburg beat the Phillies 5-3 in Philadelphia. In a big game for the West, the Houston Astros, who are coming off a West Coast road trip with a 5-game winning streak, extended it to 6, beating the Oakland A's 11-4. Don't look now, but the Astros look like they're starting to get things together. George Springer's back. They've gotten Jose Altuve back. They're starting to get healthy. Looks like the Astros could be in for another run. And then very limited action. Of course, it's a Monday, and typically that's when most teams are off in baseball. And you had the Giants beating the Diamondbacks 2-0. And you had the Rockies bullpen fall apart as the Angels won 10-7. Huge loss for Colorado. They had a chance to going to first place if they would have held on to that game. You see, it's losses like that that really will haunt you if you don't find a way into the postseason. And big hit was Shohei Ohtani, who hit his 15th home run of the season. Today's 3 stars are Chris Stratton of the Giants, who pitched 8 innings, allowing just 5 hits against the Diamondbacks. Alex Bregman, who had 4 RBI and went 4 for 5 in the Astros win over the A's. And Trey Mancini, who had 5 of the Orioles' 7 runs. That was accounted for 5 of the Orioles' 7 runs with 5 RBI, as the Orioles clubbed the Blue Jays. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Ron Guidry, who turned 68. 40 years ago, of course, Ron Guidry had one of the greatest seasons in baseball history for a pitcher. 25-3 was really the reason that when the Yankees struggled in the first half, he was the life preserver that they held onto before drowning. I mean, he's the one that kept them. He's the one that kept them from drowning in the first half. He kept them alive, gave them hope. And in the second half, he was continuingly to be reliable and won several big games, including that one-game playoff at Fenway Park. So, happy birthday to Ron Guidry, who turned 68. And we take a look back to 2003, when Eric Gagne of the Los Angeles Dodgers got his 44th save to start the season without blowing a save. Gagne did not blow and save the entire 2003 season, winning the Cy Young 55 saves, and with 8 saves from the 2002 at the end of the 2002 season, and 21 saves to start 2004. His overall streak was 84, establishing a record of excellence that may never be equaled. Of course, Gagne's streak, yes, he had a little bit of an asterisk because later on he admitted HGH, and so it is what it is. That was the steroid era. See, people always look at the sluggers. The pitchers did it too. In many ways, you can't really punish anyone. You got to stop punishing these people from the steroid era. A lot of people did it. I mean, sure, it was cheating, but so many people were cheating, it almost wasn't even playing field. And now that it's police, you suspend people. End of story. Get over it. Put people who did steroids into the Hall of Fame. That will end the cloud. When you forgive the steroid people, it will lift the cloud. The cloud is still there. Once you acknowledge that there was a steroid era and called it the steroid era, you just punish people who did it when they did it and forget about anyone else. Once again, don't forget, Tuesday morning we'll be dropping a new episode of Allow Me to Be Frank with the author of 5 Rings, Barstool's own Jerry Thornton. So please give a listen at iTunes and SoundCloud, and have a nice day.